Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
As many of you know, I'm a big fan of the Coyote and the Roadrunner. And a story crossed my desk the other day. No one sent this to me. Shame on you. But this story crossed my desk recently, and it's one of these things that I find so annoying. I'm tempted to do a series of videos about it, but I think I can get all my anger into one video because Hollywood, they actually made a movie called Coyote versus Acme. And in their infinite wisdom, they've decided to, after they've finished the movie, to scrap it. And they're scrapping it, I'm not making this up, for tax reasons. So this is one of the strangest, wildest stories, and it's so upsetting, not just because I love the Coyote, but also, well, I love Acme as well, but I also just can't believe that they made a movie like this and have decided, again, like I said, for tax reasons. So here's the deal. Coyote versus Acme is an unreleased American live-action legal comedy film. And many of us, I'm a lawyer, many of us lawyers have discussed for years whether or not the Coyote had a valid cause of action against Acme for all his defective products. Now, here's the thing. Remember the rocket sled, right? He buys the rocket sled. It's brand new. It's still in the box. It probably has a warranty on it. And he fires the thing up for the first time. What's it do? It launches him into a stone wall, okay? Now, there's a possibility that's his fault, possible user error, right? But I think after a while, so many of their products ended up in him getting hurt that you'd think, yeah, you know something, he's got a decent case against them, some kind of product liability action. But again, this guy, Birch, wrote a story, got it published in a magazine. The studio bought the film rights to it. They made the movie. The movie has been made. I'm not talking about something that's in turnaround or something. No. The movie actually got made. Development began in 2018 with Chris McKay as a producer, John and Josh Silberman writing the screenplay. Green was hired to direct in December 2019. Then later on, a bunch of people like John Cena were cast in early 2022. Live action filming took place in New Mexico, because of course it did, from March to May of 2022. So you shoot the stuff, but then Warner Brothers shelved the movie in November of 2023 to obtain a $30 million tax write-down. So this is the geniuses who run Hollywood, okay? You got the creative people making the movies. You got the producers taking the credit for the movies. Although probably putting up some money too, right? But then you've also got a situation where somebody in accounting said, we could take this movie, even though it's done, and just, I was going to say a bad word there, can it, and we can take a $30 million tax write-down. And so for a tax advantage of $30 million, we can take this movie and never release it. And somebody said, oh, what a great idea. And so there's this movie that is done, okay? So remember the story, after every product made by the Acme Corporation backfired on Wile E. Coyote, super genius, he decided in the story here to get an attorney to represent him in his lawsuit against Acme. Quite frankly, I'm surprised he didn't do it sooner. But anyway, it turns out in the movie, a growing friendship between Coyote and his lawyer motivates their determination to win the case. And of course, they Hollywooded it up. It's not based on real facts anymore, but that's not really necessary. So they went through the entire thing. John Cena was cast as the film's main antagonist, the lawyer in defense of Acme, and so on. But they went through, they did all the shooting, and they're getting ready to release the film. And then they removed the film from its release schedule and replaced it with Barbie. Now, I'm guessing that's a movie. I'm not... Okay. That movie did quite well. I understand that. So, of course, when they slot one in, they've got to slot one out. They pushed it further down the road, right? And then somebody said, wait a second. Instead of pushing it further down the road, we can just take it and throw it away and get that $30 million tax loss, because Warner Brothers Discovery apparently had some accounting issues they needed to take care of. So the crew was not informed of that decision until after the film was completed. Apparently, you need to have the film completed to get your full $30 million tax write-off. It's been so long since I wrote off a $30 million movie that I'm not quite sure how that works. But the move drew criticism from filmmakers, animation outlets, talent representatives, and disgruntled attorneys on YouTube who are convinced that this is the movie we need at this time, okay? So the movie had gotten praise at test screenings. It had gotten interest from potential buyers. That is, if somebody else wanted to buy the film, presumably Warner Brothers could have sold the film to another studio and let them release it. It's a question whether somebody paid $30 million for it. I'm not sure about that. Of course, that's also Hollywood accounting math, so I don't even know how that would work. But they, at one point in time, had said that they were willing to let someone else pick the film up, but apparently they said, no, you know something? We need a lot more than just $30 million, because they know they can make $30 million by writing it off. So somebody had apparently said that they wanted $75 to $80 million to sell the film. So if you've got, I guess, maybe more than $80 million kicking around, you might be able to pick this thing up. But it's very, very sad. People are upset, understandably. So can you imagine you work on a movie and you put all that hard work that actors do in your trailer at craft services? You put all that work into a movie and they literally finish it and then go, okay, now let's just can it. And we'll take the $30 million write-off. And normally, I don't get upset about things that happen in Hollywood because I've discovered it's not real. But the other thing about it is that, let's face it, movies come and go. And a movie can come out and can flop, and you'll forget about it and go, why didn't they can that one and save $30 million? But this is the movie that I think everybody, especially people from my generation, and the people who are older than me, there's a couple, come on. But we really needed to see this movie because there is that question mark. We've seen these movies over and over and over again. And every single time you see him pop that rocket sled out of the crate, you've seen it before. You know what's going to happen. You see that stone wall right there. He can point it that way. You know, but every time, don't you admit, there's a little glimmer of hope inside you that maybe just this once, no. So this movie would have been the final period, exclamation point, the answer, whatever you want to call it, but just wrap it all up in one nice bow that would have resolved the issue. This is one of those unresolved things from my childhood. It is, okay? The Three Stooges don't need resolution, okay? Wile E. Coyote needed resolution. He needed compensation. He'd been hurt in more than a slip and fall. He'd been hurt and injured. In fact, you know something? I'm thinking about taking this case right now. If Wile E. Coyote's out there and still wants to handle it, I'll take the case. But unfortunately, I don't think that's possible. I suspect he's already locked up with those Hollywood bigwigs. So again, just to make sure this is clear, they shot the movie Coyote versus Acme. They shot it. It's done. Everything's done. They took the finished film and threw it away. Now, I know some people are thinking, but Steve, we all know what's going to happen. It'll be on YouTube in 6 weeks. It'll be on Netflix in a year. It'll be on TikTok, whatever the kids are into. No. The point is to take the tax write-off. They literally have got to take it and flush it. It's gone. It's gone unless somebody could figure out a way to resurrect it from that graveyard, and I'm not sure if that's even possible at this point. So that's the saddest part of it all. This is one of the saddest stories, one of the saddest videos I've ever made. I can't believe this. And I remember I hadn't heard much about this. I remember hearing little bits and pieces. And the fact of the matter is I knew that this movie is out there, and also I'm like, wait, it's out there, it's done, and it's never going to get released. And to me, that's the saddest thing of all. So I don't know what to do with your outrage. I'm making videos, so you do with your outrage whatever you want to do. Channel it however you think is necessary. If you know somebody in Hollywood, maybe talk to them. I don't know if it's possible. I'm not even doing any good. But that's the story for today. Coyote versus Acme. It sounds like a great movie. We don't get to see it. So there you go. Questions or comments, put them below. And one more thing, just in case you didn't notice, I'm sitting in a different studio today. I'll explain that in a follow-up video. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Great things never came from comfort zones.